Hey, aloha, and welcome to the Aloha Friday Marketing Jam Session. I'm Tom Gaddis, my business partner, Nick Ponte, on the line. We have an amazing show lined up for you today, all about an indirect approach to selling. Maybe I could ask that question. Who on this live likes to sell? Right? Who likes to sell? Who likes to be that person? Well, we're going to talk about a way we sell without selling. You guys are going to love it. And I guess, Nick, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cue the intro, and we'll see you guys here in a few minutes.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for the fastest 60 minutes of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun on planet Earth? It's now time. The moment you've been waiting for. After 167 agonizing hours, they've returned. Broadcasting live from their island retreats, smack dab in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and now back for a brand new Sharks Live show. It's your hosts, the Offline Sharks, Tom Gaddis and Nick Ponte.
Listen to that crowd out there. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Maybe not. I don't know.
Colombia.
I don't know if you can tell from my getup, Nick, but winter is coming. Growing the beard out a little. Time to
So
get
what does that mean? Does that
hoodies.
mean you have the aircon at like 65, 55?
I have it set at 71.
Oh,
It's like 55 degrees outside right now.
is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been about, 58. Well, it's been around there, 51, 52 in the mornings and 55.
Look at this. We got somebody from the shore.
Welcome.
Not that far from me right now. How's it going?
Yeah, I see people coming on. Hello,
Mark
everyone.
Becker.
Welcome, Mark. Columbia here, but I don't know who that is because they're not logged in. But hello. Awesome. Yeah, the change in the weather and the dryness and all that's been doing crazy things with my sinuses.
Yeah, look, somebody else
Sound
here.
a little
60
nasally, but that's okay.
Somebody else near your neck of the woods right here, Henderson.
That's probably Bruce. What's up,
Oh, really?
Bruce? Yeah. Bruce Rogat. He's over there in
Look who it is.
Henderson.
Devin. What's up, Devin? Holding it down at our home fort.
That's right. Holding down the home turf. Yeah, I see Dorn's here. Patrick. Cameron says it's 59 in Michigan, which is pretty much summer for them.
That's pretty funny.
That's like lay outside tanning weather.
It is. Man,
Yeah.
I was I'm gonna kind of like jump into it, I guess, Tom, but I was playing around with some of those tools that we were talking about with David the other day on the webinar. By the way, who was on the webinar with us? It was a pretty good webinar, right? But I was playing around with some of those tools yesterday. That local analyzer is pretty badass, I gotta say.
Yeah.
It really is. It is super nifty. I mean, there's a lot of people that I know of, myself included, that just have been looking for a piece of marketing material that we could easily generate for somebody quickly and give it to a prospect or a potential customer in order to help push the sale, right? And that local analyzer tool, that report that you get back that you can give to people, that scanner, that feature is pretty insane. And the fact that you can throw that in with AGM, you can put your AGM listing in there, is it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, you're right. All the tools are great, right? Like, one of the things that, I don't know, when you go to run an agency, right, there's a lot of tools and things involved. And, one of the reasons we kind of did that training was to really sort of show people like, hey, look, if your goal is to build, grow, and scale, there's three things that you need, right? Like you need three types of offers, right? I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. You need three types of offers. You need some type of free offer to generate interest, to get people interested in what you're doing. You need a one-time offer to get cash, to get some immediate cash flow. And you need residual. You need some residual income so that you're not always starting from zero every month. And, David did a really great job of talking about those 3 offer engines and then showing how, what they do for each particular thing to grow and get that going. So it was really a great training.
Yeah, look at that. Lester over there on YouTube. Big shout out to Lester, says that 100% he already got a new client with it, which I think is pretty awesome. Congrats, Lester. What kind of client did you get? Curious. Jacqueline also says that she has 2 videos from Wednesday's webinar goodies, which I know, Jacqueline, how did that one prospect go? I think it was a roofing client. Did you ever end up closing them?
Yeah.
Well, cool, Tom. I think a lot of people here, we had so many people join our community over the last week that maybe some of the people here might be their first live show. Let us know if this is your very first live show.
If it's your first live show, welcome. You're in for a treat. We started a little slow today, right? But we'll get the juices pumping here in a minute.
Yeah, so we do a lot of things in the live show. One of which is celebrate everybody in our community that are out there taking action. Jacqueline says she closed them.
Yeah, Jacqueline says she closed them, which was awesome because I think there was some prize money for that. She won some prize money for that. So awesome job, Jacqueline. But yeah, like Nick said, we love to start every live show by celebrating wins in our community, local marketing service deals that people are closing. These aren't us. These are the people in the community, right? So today we call them shark shout outs. And today we've got some good ones. So congratulations, one to Lester. Congratulations to Jacqueline for closing those deals based off of what we taught in the webinar last week. And if you weren't on the webinar, don't worry. We'll give you a link. You can go watch the replay. You can see what everybody's talking about. But really awesome training and some great software tools we talked about on there. And this week, here, let me share my screen here. Oh, if I can see it. I don't know if I can see it. Here we go. All right. We got some awesome shark shout outs this week. Our first shark shout out goes to Devin Atkins, who's holding down the fort in Maui. He closed another realtor, a $2,000 a month service fee with $1,000 a month in ad spend. So congratulations, Devin. Awesome work. And then John Bergman, he sold an $8,000 website with $2,500 a month ongoing service. Congratulations, John. That's an awesome deal. Nice cash in the pocket. Nice monthly.
Your chat is up there, Tom.
What? Oh, that's somebody's messaging me in Facebook. I don't know why.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. So our final shark shout out goes to Bruce. So he's back from a 4-day camping trip. He checks in the mail, payments in PayPal and Stripe, plus orders for 2 more websites, reputation, and social media management. So congratulations, Bruce. That's awesome.
It's really good to see Bruce back up on that board, man. It's been a little bit since I've seen him.
Yeah. So one of the things that we like you to do, if this is your first live show, if you head over to offlinesharks.com/shoutouts, and you'll see this post, just give these fine gentlemen a congratulations, a way to go. And at the end of the stream, we're going to pick some random people. We're going to give them some cash up money. So easy way to win. So head to offlinesharks.com/shoutouts. Leave that a boy. That's a great job. Way to go, fellas. And we'll pick some random winners for some cash out money as well. But that is, what is that? Like, hold on, let me look at this. So, oops. I don't know what happened there. Wait. There we go. I need to do that. So that is, what is that? So that's a total of $12,500 of closed business last week from people in our community. And that's just 3 people, right?
Yeah.
That's based off 2 of those 3 people. Just for those of you that are just joining our community, over the past 3 months, our sharks have closed over $350,000 in deals selling local marketing services. It's really amazing. So You can always search up hashtag win in the group to see those wins, see what services people are offering. I think a really great thing to point out is like a lot of times people are offering a lot of different services, but they're having success. So, it's not so much about the services you offer as it is about the offers you're making, the way you structure those things and all that stuff, which was what our training this past week was all about, right? The 3 offer engines, how you structure them, why they're important, what the goals are with them. And yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a important thing to note out, because a lot of us are in groups, in different groups. And we see a lot of people that talk strategy there, theory, and you don't really know who's actually out there making it work. And I think that is one of the big separations from what we have here at Offline Sharks in our community and all the other ones out there, is there are a lot of people in here that are just actually implementing, actually taking action. And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with, right? Because while you're taking action, you're going to come across questions. You're going to need some help. And the people that you want to ask those questions with are the people that are also doing it, the people that know the playbook that you need help with. And hopefully you're in a community like we are, where you have people that are ahead of you, that are willing to shoot the elevator down for you and help bring you up. And that's really what this is all about here. So I know sometimes, we there's a little bit of a monotony going through some of our the way we structured the live show, but celebrating the wins is so freaking important. So go to that post, everybody. Leave them a comment. We're going to pick some winners and give you Cash App prizes by the end of this live stream. So stick with us.
Yeah, here's the link. I'll put it on the screen there. Yeah, it is super important. And I think some of the things you'll notice as you look at the wins that we talk about every week is, again, I just want to stress this again. It's not so much about the services you offer. It's about the offers you make, and that you're constantly making those offers, right? Like you have to be out there talking to local businesses, making them offers, presenting them things, doing that stuff to close a deal, right? And so important. There's no magic service. There's no one service that's just going to, change things for you. What's really going to change it is when you understand and you put into place the right offers, and you know what those offers do, and you know how they help each other. We call them authority offer engines, right? Like we talked about them in our last product. We've talked about them in other places too. But on last week's training, we really did a deep dive into what each one was, right? Like why it's important, why you need a free offer, why it's important. And here's a great free offer that we found that you can use. Here's a one-time offer, why it's important, what you want to do with it. Here's residual. Like we broke it all down. So yeah, if you haven't been to the training, when we drop the link, you're going to want to go watch that, because it was really good.
That brings up a great point, Tom, because I recently, and I think this is, I get so many emails that sometimes I can't remember what day I got a specific email on, but either this morning or yesterday, I got an email from a client or potential client that couldn't afford a website. Like we offer really custom websites in my agency, right? And that's and those are kind of higher ticket, right? $3,500 up to $12,000. And sometimes they can't afford that price point, right? And in that situation, what do? Do you still try to sell them something? Probably. I mean, if you don't have a whole bunch of clients, you should probably try to figure out how you can bring them on board in one way or another. And what I love about just the overall strategy of having different price points for what you offer is that's how you can make it work. Like I could sell that person on $100 per month website. You know what I mean? Rather than just the one-time offer of $3,500, I could sell them on a $100 month website, or maybe I could throw something else in there to make it $200 a month, just a little bit more. And they could probably afford that, but maybe not the $3,500 up front. So it is important for people to have, especially if you're new and you haven't really streamlined everything that you offer, you don't have tons of clients. If you've already got, $100,000 a year coming in, you may really just focus on 3 core things. And it might be a residual offer, a higher offer, and a one-time offer. But if you're not there yet, you definitely want to have as many tools in your arsenal as you possibly can, and at different price points.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, and I think that's important because like you said something there that I think is a great differentiator, Nick, is that look, there are different times in starting, growing, and building a business to do different things, right? There's a time for everything. In the beginning, when you're just trying to get some momentum, when you're just trying to get some activity, one of the ways we explain it in some of our trainings is like, look, if you're in the ocean and everything's calm, it's like there's nothing going on around you, right? Like you gotta stir up the fish, you gotta like kick up the sand, like you just gotta get things moving around you. And then like you can pick off pieces, you can grab things, you can get your business going, right? So a lot of times in the beginning, the things that you do in the beginning are not going to be things that you're going to do permanently. And a lot of people, I think that what they start doing now is what they're going to do forever. And that's not the case. Like you need to do a few things differently in the beginning than you do as you grow, right? So, in the beginning, it's all about activity, momentum. You got this big train, you just got to get it moving, right? So you may do a lot more of, free offers. You're going to do a lot more of one-time offers. You may structure your services and things to be on the lower price end just because you're trying to get that activity going, right? Once you have that activity going, then you're going to want to do different things, right? It's not going to be so much about bringing clients in because that's going to be happening, right? Like you're going to get obviously no matter what part you're at, you have to deliver great customer service. You have to deliver great client service, right? So, I mean, like today, we don't have to do all of the generate activity things that we used to in the beginning because now we've built up a business. We get a lot of referrals. We have other things in place. But doing that in the beginning gave us the cash flow and the cushion to do the things that we're doing now, right? So, as you're getting more activity, then you start to look at like, oh, I want to raise my prices. I don't like these one-off projects are great, but like, look, how can I not start from zero every time I finish a project? Like then you start working in the other things and all that stuff. Now, I think what was really great about what we talked about on Wednesday was that we really laid out a really easy way to do all three of those things right out of the gate, right? Like 3 specific services, 3 specific tools that make the fulfillment easy and all that stuff so that somebody who's new, can start doing those things like, simultaneously versus having to wait to do them all one after the other. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And you said something that really stuck out to me because I know a lot of people when they start out with what they're offering and their business grows, they may not offer those same services like they did before. Like for you, Tom, like when you first started, what type of services did you offer in the beginning? Did you and I asked that because like you said, those things that you offer in the beginning they're not the same as where you end up, right? And I'm not confusing like foot in the door offers versus actual services, like you started out doing different type of direct response stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, the direct mailer that we have a course on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I was doing to get clients and to generate early cash flow. But again, one of the hard lessons I learned in that process was like that as well. And there were 2 things about it. One is I was in a very small area, so I wasn't able to just crank out mailer after mailer after mailer, right? Like when you look at people in our community that generate full-time income from doing the mailers, that's because they're in an area where they can do, multiple mailers more than they have a lot going on, right? I couldn't do that where I was at. So like I really had to use it as a foot in the door. And then I had to have other things to sell on the back end to keep that cash flow going, knowing that I was only going to do them every, 30 to 60 days. Eventually I settled on once a quarter, right? So every 3 months I was doing a mailer to bring in leads, to bring in prospects, to build a buyer's list. And then I was going back to that buyer's list and selling them additional services, websites, SEO, social media management, all those things. Copyright. I was doing some copywriting for local clients. So
in the beginning, it's almost like whatever you can, right?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like, okay, well, what do they need help with, and what am I selling them, right? Eventually, it turned into
if someone came to you and said, "Hey, I need some business cards," would you help them with that?
Oh yeah, I'd be like, okay, I need a logo. Sure, I can handle that for you.
Yeah,
like,
I got you. I got the logo. Yeah. I'd go, on Fiverr or Upwork or Freelancer, or you would use Logo Nerds, right?
Logonerds.com. I use them a lot. Yeah. So I would just be the middleman person, right?
Right.
Yeah. And what's interesting is if you look at some of the courses that we put out at Offline Sharks are all the results of this process that we were going through, right? The website client system. Website client system came about because I was getting a lot of people coming to me for websites, but they didn't have big budgets, right? Yeah. They couldn't afford the $3,500, $4,000, $5,000 website. And I didn't want to just send those people on their way. I was like, there's got to be a way we can deliver a great service to them, pick up some cash flow, right? And use it as a way to build relationships. So website client system and the themes we had in there, right? That's where that came from. That was our solution to that. Now we could build these really inexpensive websites for $800 to $1,500 that really took us no time to do, right? But we could still serve those customers that needed that. So, a lot of the things that we talk about are solutions to those. And, on Wednesday's webinar, we talked about some even better solutions, some even easier things to do than websites or anything like that. And I think one of the key things that I took away from that training was look, if you really want to generate income and you want to get results now, right? You want people to be saying yes today, not down the road. You really have to be a producer of something that's valuable to them, right? And in that training, we talked about three things, right? We talked about the free offers to get their interest. We talked about a valuable one-time offer, and we talked about some residual offers that you can do. And more importantly, you don't want to be bogged down with fulfillment. So, how do you fulfill those things in an easy way? And I mean, fortunate for us, we have some software tools that do all that stuff for you.
Yeah. And Chandra had a question here. I'm going to jump back to your topic before we get too far from this, because you just kind of mentioned a solution for him. Chandra, a church is looking for a website. They want to live stream their programs as well. Is WordPress a good platform? I think it is. I would, in that situation, I would look at how they're streaming their programs and make sure that you connect the two. And then I'm sure WordPress is probably one of the, in my opinion, the only platforms I would use for something like that. It would be more difficult to tie into some of those other funnel builders and stuff for something like that. But that's my response to that. And Tom, back to what you said about having those or being able to produce something. That's how I felt like we closed out that training on, at least what I said at the end really kind of stuck with me even beyond that training, about the activity-based service, which you would say is the producing, right? Producing of some sort of content, like a video or something that you can sell, versus the results-based service like lead generation or search engine optimization. Between the two, it's easier to get paid for the activity-based one because you just need to create whatever it is you're selling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think activity-based, especially when you're new, right?
Yeah.
That's where you want your wheelhouse to be. You want to be an activity-based, right? Because there is, when you're talking about selling SEO, when you're talking about selling lead generation, things that are more results. So let's be clear on the difference, right? So a website is a great example of an activity-based service, or social media management is another good example, because the person pays you, you give them a website and they give you money. It doesn't, if the website never gets a single visitor, that's not on you. You got paid to create it, right? Social media posting can be the same thing. Now, the social media posting is kind of indirectly a results thing, right? They're doing it hoping they're going to get some results, but really what they're paying you for is the weekly posting, the content, all that stuff, right? So, the stuff that happens as a result of that, while we want them to get results from it. That's not specifically what they're paying us for, right? So results things are like lead generation. You pay me $10 for every lead I send to you, right? Like you're tied to results. SEO, now the person looks at the first page of Google and they're either there or they're not, that's either a result or they don't have it. So handling those services result services make up a lot of what we do at the agency. But, we've been doing this for a while, and there's, we know how to handle the nuances of those services, how to handle the client expectations, how to do all those things that make those services effective. Whereas when you focus on an activity-based type thing, you don't have to worry about that so much, right? Like you can just focus on reaching out, making the sell, and delivering the thing, right? Reaching out, making the sell, delivering the thing. Really simplifies the process. And if you ever find yourself stuck in a rut and you all your clients, like this has happened to me before, all of a sudden you find yourself with no clients and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? Right? Like, well, for me, I've always went back to an activity-based service so that I can focus on you hear us say this a lot, so I can focus on the revenue producing activity. And what is the revenue producing activity? Finding people to talk to, talking to them, closing the sale. Finding people to talk to, talking to them, closing the sale. So when you have an activity-based service that you can throw out there, and especially one that you don't have to do the fulfillment on, it just really simplifies your life, and you can focus on those things while you build up and get traction.
Something that came to mind when you said that is it's almost always like the recurring stuff, the stuff that you get paid every month for, is usually always a results-based type service. Like doing SEO means like you have to get them higher rankings. Running ads means that you have to bring them X amount of sales or X amount of customers. So that's kind of why it usually is a ongoing service, something you get paid every month for. Very rarely do you find an activity-based service that you can get paid every month for. And that tie-in that David had on how he's doing that was shown on the training the other day, I thought that was a very rare and unique thing. Very rarely is that activity-based service something you get paid every single month for. And it was pretty nifty how he plugged all that in there. So I didn't really realize that, Tom, until just now, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it is really interesting the way he did that. And two, like what I thought was really great, like without spilling too much of the beans, because you should really watch the training. But what I really thought was great about that particular offer that you're talking about, where you can deliver this thing monthly, was really how the initial selling of that particular service was like, you didn't even really have to try to sell it because it was such an ego-driven thing for the business owner. Like it really appeals to their ego as a business owner. And it's almost like you don't have to sell something like that, right? Like when somebody looks at something and they go, oh yeah, that's going to make me look good. Like half the battle's won, right? Like half the battle's won. And I thought that was really great about that particular service because it appeals to their ego. And then of course the way that they have it set up to do it every month and, all that stuff. But,
I have a quick question for everybody here. What was the last service that you sold? Was it SEO? Was it lead gen? Was it copywriting? Was it logo design? I'm curious. We have almost 100 people here. How many? What are these different types of offer? Was it reputation? Was it Google ads? Was it a website? Was it SEO? Was it some social media marketing? I always love to see what everybody's selling. It could have been a recurring service, could have been an activity-based service, could have been a one-time offer. Jacqueline did reputation. Somebody says Google ads. Dorn says SEO, postcard printing. Jacqueline, before she sold an 8-week course. By the way, Jacqueline, I'm going to get back to you on that as things kind of trickle down here. I have that information in my email still open. Website and social media. Somebody says nothing yet. So the person that said nothing yet.
Oh, I was trying to get it up there for you.
Just why not? Why haven't you sold anything yet? How many people have you contacted in the last week about whatever it is you want to sell? Somebody said last deal was a restaurant, everything, $15,000 worth of stuff and $4,000 a month. Wow. Why did you not share about that in the Facebook group?
Why have we not seen a post in the group about that?
Yeah.
That is shout out worthy right there.
Look at this. And actually that brings up a great point, Tom. Look at all these wins. Like these are all people that have gotten clients at some point. I hope every single one of you came to this Facebook group and told us about it. That's good stuff.
Yeah, really awesome.
Cool. Well, you guys have any questions for us about anything that we covered the other day?
While they're putting in their questions, Nick, too, I do want to tie this back to like really what the theme of our live show was today, which we haven't touched on too much, which was, like indirectly selling without selling, right? So we talked a lot about these offers, the free offer, the one-time offer, the residual offers, the activity-based service. One of the other, kind of like things that you want to look for when you're trying to decide, is this something I want to bring it? Or one of the things we look for, I shouldn't say maybe you want to look for this, maybe you don't. But one of the things we always look for when we're trying to determine, what we're going to do, what we're going to roll out is, do we have a way to indirectly sell it where, our chance of building a relationship, whether we make the sell or don't make the sell, is really, really high. And by that, I mean, like, we don't want to just be calling up businesses like, hey, we're with such and such marketing agency. Would you like SEO? Do you guys need a new website? Like, we don't like to do that, right? Like, we would rather lead with some value or have some kind of indirect approach to where we can start to build a relationship and then inform them that we have this thing we can do for them, right? Or maybe give them, this is where the free offer comes in, right? Maybe give them something free of value where they can kind of get a feel for what we do. So then we can talk to them about other stuff. Here's a good question. How do you guys get new clients? What's your methods? Cold call, lead scrapers, etc. I'm not sure who this is, so I can't address you by name, but I will tell you, we get new clients by going out and talking to local business owners, whether that is through email, through the phone, through social media, through the various, like we actually, you're going to find this hard to believe because this is so rare. You're going to be like, what? No way. We actually use the methods that we teach to get clients for our agency. Like that's actually where those methods came from because we were using them to get clients. We do a lot of different things too. Now I'm gonna give you a how would you say that? A caveat to that. We didn't start doing them all at once. Like we started with one thing, and we started with one service. We started for us. For me, it was the mailer. For Nick, it was websites. And, we just did whatever we had to do to get clients, whether that meant, doing some networking events, sending out emails, like reaching out to people, like talking to all our friends, being like, hey, if you need a website, I'm starting to do that now. Like Google searching, like any businesses we came in contact, we would like look at their websites. And if they were crappy, we'd reach out to them and be like, hey, I love your business. I was on your website. I think I could help you make it better, right? Like, so, we do a lot of different things to get clients. We didn't start doing them all at once. So yeah, I mean, there's not like one thing that we're doing, right? Not like one thing. We do several things and it all works.
The one thing I will say for whoever asked that question though, is that, a lot of the stuff that we teach at Offline Sharks that we put together in a course and training, that usually comes from a great foot in the door strategy, a good way to get a new client, to bring a new client on board. So this past one, for example, using the review widget pop-up, or review pops, that's a great way to get your foot in the door to bring that client in. So that's how we get clients, right? That's one example. And we've tested it out. We've got a number of clients, a number of other people that have gotten clients using it. And for that reason, we created a product around it. If you look at any other product that we've created, it usually comes from some sort of foot in the door strategy, just like that. Now, once we get those clients in, then we will sell them other things, recurring services, stuff like that. But usually the way we get clients is the foot in the door strategies that we teach all of you. Sometimes we'll do paid advertising as well. Sometimes we'll do appointment setting and cold calling. I think the way it works in our agency is we go through different phases, right? Like we'll try something for a long time and run it off a cliff for a while till we're like sick of going that route.
Till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, and then we'll try something else, and we can always go back and forth, right? Like it's we like to keep it interesting and fun. And sometimes if you just do the same thing over and over for a long time, if you're just doing cold email, you kind of get tired of it, right? Some prospecting methods become like a numbers game at some point. John says, does cold email really work? Yes, cold email does really work, but it's all about finding the right message to send at the right time to the right person. So if you're just taking the shotgun approach and cold emailing 10,000 people at once, it's the chances of you finding the right person at the right time with the right message are a little less than doing a little more research and finding somebody that has a poor reputation and giving them something that's reputation related.
Yeah. What I was going to say about this, Nick, was like, yeah, John, like how most people define cold email and how we define it is very different. Most people think of cold email as like, oh, I pull all these people in, I send out thousands of emails every day. Like that very rarely works. What really does work though, is identifying businesses that have a need, that have a problem that you can fix, and then sending them an email to let them know you're someone that can fix this problem for them. That can work very, very well. Right. And so, it can definitely work. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag a little bit here, because if you go, when we put the link to the training that we had the other day and you go watch it, there is a thing in there where David revealed a strategy of where you can instantly know the exact right time to contact a business owner when they are the most interested in what you have to say. Like it's a genius idea. But think about that. What if you knew? What if someone told you? What if you were just sitting around watching the Aloha Friday marketing jam session, minding your own business, trying to soak in all of the awesome and amazing knowledge that Nick is sharing on that show, and all of a sudden your phone goes ding, 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 and you look down and it was like, hey, you better call this person right now because they're interested in what you're selling. Like, what would imagine that scenario. Well, I will tell you that if you watch the replay of the training, we showed you how to get that exact scenario. You can just be going about minding your own business, doing whatever it is you're already doing. You don't even have to change a single thing. And there can be a machine working in the background to generate that very outcome where your phone beeps and you know to contact somebody.
Yeah, there were a couple things that were shared that whether you picked up the special offer at the end or not were really, really good. That was one of them. The other one was the ego stroke that you give people when you reach out to them, when you tell them who you are or the positioning of who you're coming from to get a response. That was massive. You remember that one?
No.
You don't? I do.
I'm just gonna be honest. No.
I turned on the mic and I was like, wow, that was amazing. When you go through the script that he had to get through the gatekeeper to the decision maker.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that do any type of prospecting and you get hit with the gatekeeper and all that stuff, go watch the training for that. That was huge. Tom, there are a couple questions here. Can we jump through these?
Yeah. I saw somebody asked what Tom Recruiter on Review Pops. It's called Authority Accelerator. We just wrapped up the launch of it on this past Monday.
Yeah, it was on a special launch pricing for 4 days, $27. Now it's $197. So when we come out with a launch, you'll want to get it during the launch period for 4 days. There's special launch pricing. It's packed with value. It's totally worth it, even at the price point it's at now. But if you ever see our stuff during a launch and you sleep on it, you might be sorry later.
Yeah, here's a great question from Lydia. Said, do you see a difference in sales due to the lockdown? If
We're just
so,
talking about that.
What's that?
We were just
talking about this, Dave. So how much of a dip versus incline? So, you know, and I think she's specifically asking about the agency, right, Nick? And,
Yeah.
you know, Lydia, so when the lockdown happened for us, obviously we experienced what a lot of people experienced, right? Like people were messaging us. They were wanting to put their services on hold. They were wanting to cancel things. Like, you know, everybody was kind of in this state of like, nobody knew what was going to happen, right? There was probably, I would say, like a week or two of that, right? I mean, Nick and I were literally on the phone with each other and the team just about every day, like assessing the news that was coming out for the day, assessing what the situation was on the ground where we were at, and figuring out how we could make an adjustment to that, right? And we pivoted, we adjusted, we changed what we were doing at that time, you know, from just like a general outreach approach to something different, right? Something that was more a value-based thing, just like I've been talking about. It's indirect selling, right? We started to set up these websites, letting people know what was still open, what wasn't open. So we just started bringing value to the community, right? And then on the back end of that, we would say, hey, look, like, you know, this is what we're doing, but this is what we also do on the side, right? So all of the tactics and strategies that we're talking about today, like we applied to that situation. And while we saw an initial kind of like dip and thing, like all of a sudden that didn't last very long. Pretty soon we picked up a new client, then we were picking up more clients and then more clients. And then the revenue and the agency, how much did it grow during the pandemic, Nick? I don't remember
doubled.
that exact number.
It was Lydia. It was exactly like you. I know you said, if so, how much of a dip / incline? That's exactly what it did. It made a dip, and then it had a huge incline, and it doubled. And it was because of how we were able to pivot. And a lot of you that have been around offline charts for a long time, you know exactly what we did. So
yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it all in the community. But now, like what we did then, right? Like now we're doing, like we're looking at what the situation is now, and we're doing different things, right? So,
but the changes are so subtle. They're so super subtle. It's so subtle, and what we do, we always share with everybody. So,
yeah.
Somebody said the big problem with internet marketers today is that we try to go for the big sale and then get rejected, eventually giving up. Using the foot in the door strategy is the reason for your agency's success. That's awesome. It's the reason for our success too. Tom and I, we fell victim to this. We fell victim to people that we saw online telling us you have to charge that high ticket thing right up front. Remember that? So we would go to these meetings. We would get a client on the hook, right? And we'd go to these meetings. We put our Aloha shirts on, and we'd show up. We try to sell them something, right? Or Tom would wear an Aloha shirt. I wouldn't wear one. I like to go to my meetings looking like a guy that works at Verizon, you know. But anyway, so I'll never forget that time. We pitched a $20,000 package, and it was like, it was like crickets. They were like, okay. We were like, we thought we had it in the bag, and we were wrong. And so that's, for us, that's when we transitioned what we do in a different way. And foot in the door strategies. That's why they're so popular in our community, because you're building trust with the foot in door strategy. You're not making huge amounts of money, but you're building trust. You're making some money, and then you're starting a relationship. And that way that we pivoted during the shutdown, Lydia, was the same way, right? When I say subtle changes, we stopped collecting money on the front end, and we just gave stuff away, and we built the relationship. And we have this big list of people now that we built this relationship off of from during the shutdown that allowed us to double our revenue that year. And so it's just a little shift. And now the little shift again is you just approach it from a little bit of a different angle. Rather than giving it away from free, you just have a different message.
Yeah, and to bring this all full circle into what we're talking about here with the selling and indirect selling, right? Like, look, we were chugging along with residual and one-time offers, and then the pandemic hit. So what did we do to adjust? Oh, we reverted back to a free offer, because we know that's how you get traction. That's how you get activity going, right? Regardless of what's going on out there. And then we use that to move into the one-time and the residual, and right? So like you can see how these three offers, the free, the one time, the residual, why they're so important, because they allow you to adjust in real time quickly to whatever's going on around you and based on the results you're getting, right? Like if you're out there trying to sell a service and you're just not making any sales, you're like, well, all right, what type of free offer could I put together around this, right? Where maybe I could get some traction, start to build a relationship, right? And you want to do that first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, as you start to do that more and more, you will start to get more comfortable in your delivery of whatever it is you're selling to. Like Tom was talking about at the beginning of this live show, like who likes selling? Like
I don't think there was anybody on here to hear that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, who likes selling?
Here.
Who here on the stream likes selling? Give me a 1 if you do. Give me a 2 if you don't. I can tell you right
who
now.
Who wants to be that guy that's always out there, always closing, right? You always hear
always
that.
Closing.
Always be closing. Always be closing. I mean, is that the person you want to be? Like, what do you think of people that are like that?
I think that is, yes, I think that's true. You should be always trying to, as an entrepreneur, you should always be trying to go for like the best possible outcome, which is a sale. Sure. But I don't think you should be like ramming it down, you know, the hatch. Like there's a right time to make an offer, right? Sometimes making an offer at the wrong moment just doesn't make any sense. And it could really actually do the opposite for you. Rather than bringing in a customer, they could run from you, you know? So it's all about the timing. It's all about knowing. And I can tell you right now, and I see a lot of twos, some ones too, some people that love selling. I can tell you right now that I didn't like selling, but I got more comfortable with it as I did it, right? As I started to do it more, the fear of it started to kind of dissipate. It started to go away. And it's because once you try to do a pitch and someone says no, then you're like, oh man, you got all upset. And then they say yes. And then it builds your confidence. And eventually you take the information from each one of the times that you pitch, and you need to assess the situation. What went right? What went wrong? How can I do things differently? And eventually you get more comfortable with it to the point, like for me, even right now, like earlier last week, I sold a $4,000 per month client. And I could have had people, my team in my agency do that for me, right? Like I have salespeople, I have fulfillment teams, I have project managers, I have a big team in my agency. But I took that call because I want to stay sharp. You know, I want to be in the trenches. I want to hear the response from that customer to this new offer. And I want to take that information. I want to give it to you all. I want to make sure the stuff that we are all giving you is fresh. And so, you know, pitching something at $4,000 a month, like that used to scare me. That used to scare the crap out of me because, well, number one, I knew that I'd have to be on the hook for $4,000 worth of value per month. And, you know, now knowing what I know now is delivering on $4,000 a month of value actually isn't that hard. And if you went to the webinar the other day, you know that delivering $4,000 a month in value is actually pretty easy as long as you have the right tools. So anyway, the reason I said all that is just because I know a lot of people, you know, they're not too confident with sales. They don't really like sales, but my message to you is like, it gets a lot easier and it gets better. And if you can just spend a little time researching your offer, getting familiar with what you're talking about, it's going to get easier for you. And the key is getting some small wins through foot in the door strategies to build your confidence.
Yeah. And to bring it again, back to full circle to the three different types of offers, right? Like what Nick is talking about, he was experiencing was a lack of confidence, right? He didn't have confidence in what he was offering because he hadn't delivered or fulfilled enough or helped enough clients where he really believed deep in his bones that what he was putting out there was going to help them, right? When you know that something you're going to do is going to be helpful to someone, it changes the entire conversation. It changes the way you sound. It changes the way they perceive what you're saying. It changes the way you talk to them, right? And so look, having again, back to this free offer, right? This is where free offers are so powerful. When you can put a free offer in place and you can see with your own eyes for yourself how valuable that is to people, you go, oh, well, of course I should be charging for this, right? Like, look at these people. I did this for them and they got results and they're happy. Like, yes, it's good to charge for that, right? And so it changes the conversation from, hey, it changes the way you talk to people to a conversation of like, well, tell me what's going on with your business and let me see if I can help. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe what I have is a good fit. Maybe it's not. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your business, what you're trying to do? Like, what do your numbers look like now? What do you feel the weak point is? And then you can kind of look at that and you go, oh, yeah, I think I could help you with that. Like, one area you're missing is this, or it seems to me like maybe if you tried this, it might help. Like, I can help you do that. Like, it's a totally different kind of conversation, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to answer this question real quick. So I don't know that you need to partner up with someone, but you do need to be involved in a community of like-minded people that are doing what you want to do so that you can get quick answers to questions so that you can bounce ideas off. And lucky for whoever this is, you are in one right now in our Facebook group. So
the best one, the best one.
Yeah, the best one out there. So look, use it. Use the Facebook group. Ask questions. Pay attention to what services people are selling. Like, see how they're doing it. You'll start to see it's not necessarily the service they're offering. It's, they're making good offers. They're finding the right qualified people to make those offers too as well. Look at how they're doing that kind of stuff.
That there's another side to that answer too, which is, Tom and I, looking back, we always joke about like outsourcing to each other, right? Tom always says he outsources websites to me. And I always say I outsource my prospecting to Tom, right? Because those are just the things that like I didn't want to do. Tom didn't want to do the websites. I didn't want to do the prospecting. So yeah, we started working together on some projects. And knowing what we know now, I can wholeheartedly tell you, you do not need to partner with somebody in person, like know them in person, face to face, to make this thing work, to make this thing very, very successful. But like Tom said, you do need to be a part of a community where you can get answers to questions. Because if it's just you and you're in a vacuum chamber, all the information goes in that you hear on the internet, you don't have anything to help like decipher all of that, it's not going to be good. You're going to get caught going down the wrong direction. Also, you will need to partner up with some people at some point. And when I say partner up, I don't mean like how Tom and I did. I mean like find somebody on the internet that can help you to write website content. Find a developer that can help you build a website. Outsourcing is a form of partnership, although maybe you're doing it to take advantage of the price difference in a different place. Like if you have somebody building websites in India, they're less expensive than if you have it built here in the US, right? But if you have somebody doing that for you on a regular basis, that person is a contractor of yours, but you've kind of partnered with them in a sense, right? So you do need to make relationships with people to help you scale, because in the beginning, you can easily make, not say easily, you can make $100,000 per year by yourself. And it is going to be difficult. But once you get past $100,000, you're definitely going to need some help. You're definitely going to need some help. And if you bring that help on before you hit $100,000, you're going to hit $100,000 a lot faster, and it's going to be a lot easier. But that help doesn't have to be a face-to-face partner that you give up equity in your company in. It can be somebody that just has a specific skill set that you bring on to help deliver whatever that is in your business, and you give them a fee for it. I think that actually is a big piece that people, and I had this misconception when I started my business. I thought that I had to give away equity to somebody to bring them in to work with me. And that's not always true. Like you can have somebody with a specialized skill set and pay them well, and they will be happy to work with you.
Yeah, I went ahead and put the link to the replay. It's scrolling across the bottom of this stream. So if you haven't watched it or you want to watch it again, go there, offlinesharks.com/agency replay. You can see it there. Since we're getting towards the end, I thought that would be good. And then, Nick, we should, hold on, let me find this. We should.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling. Got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
You're talking no matter, Nick. No matter.
You know the rules. You all know the rules.
Yeah. So we want to give away some Cash App money. So remember at the beginning of the show, we asked you guys to go leave a comment on the Shark Shoutouts post, right? the Shark Shoutouts post, and we have picked some amazing winners from that post. And Nick, our winners, you want to say them?
Oh, I was. You have it. You got it.
Sure. It's Chandra,
Yep.
Chandra, and Marvin Drobes. So congratulations. Woo! Or yeah, congratulations. You got some Cash App money coming your way. Our team will get in touch with you. So way to go.
Nicely done. Yeah, if you missed out on that giveaway, you just had to show up to the live at the beginning of the live and congratulate the people that took action in the community. But we picked a couple of them at random and sending them Cash App money right now.
Do you want to ask a question and give away some money? We got a few minutes left here. Do you want to ask a question and give away some money?
Sure. I can ask a question. Here's a good question.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
really good question. This is a really good question. So, as you know, just the other day, we had the special training. You can go to the link, offlinecharge.com/agency replay. Huh?
We did. Was I there?
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
And you can see it. You can see the replay at the link below on your screen. Now, we made a special offer, right? We made a special offer on that training, and it's one that I think you're going to like. The value, the information leading up to us making that special offer was one for the playbooks. You need to have that information. You need to write it down. Whether you get the offer or not, there's a lot of really good information. I recommend, people that have asked some of the great questions that you've asked in this live, you'll get a lot of value off checking that out. Now, my question for the Cash App money, the first person that answers this correctly, because I know a lot of you were there. I know a lot of you were there on that training. You know the answer to this question. So the first person that can answer this question correctly will get some Cash App money delivered directly to their account. So the question is, because we made that special offer, it's not going to be around forever. When are we taking the replay down to that special offer? What is the date that we are taking down the replay at the link that you see below your screen?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a good question, right? But everybody, I mean, there are a lot of people there. There were like 600 people there.
Mm.
You're like, oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah. I'll let you.
Can we hit our exec team and ask them when the replay is coming down?
You don't know the answer?
No, I don't know the answer.
You don't even know the answer.
I think I know
hold
the
on,
answer.
hold
I
on.
just don't want to say the wrong answer.
I know. Hold on. Let me verify.
And I see a lot of answers coming in. That's good. So you might be right. We haven't decided yet.
No. I know what day it is.
Okay. You're sure?
Oh, man. I want to say I'm sure, but it's actually not in the calendar that way.
It's not, huh?
Like, it doesn't say in the calendar, like, this is the ending. I'm pretty sure this is the day. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the day. But it does not say in the calendar when
The time.
officially. It doesn't say officially.
All right. I got the word. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler came in. It's
Way to go,
Monday,
Tyler.
the 18th at midnight.
That's what I thought. Monday. I thought it was Monday,
I
but
knew
it
it was
doesn't.
Monday.
It doesn't officially say it in the calendar.
All right.
I saw
so let
some
me
people
look.
got it. So let's scroll up. Who's first in our stream there?
That was a good question, though. It even
You know,
got
it's a
us.
good question when you don't even know the answer.
Right.
I see in our stream, Mark Becker.
All right. Congrats, Mark. I bet you Mark picked it up. He got the special offer. He knew that it was too good to let it pass. He didn't even want to wait. He picked it up, and he's not waiting. He's not sleeping on it. He's not waiting until Monday. I hope none of you on this webinar wait that long, but go to the link that you see on your screen right now, offlinesharks.com/agency replay. Check out that training that we did the other day. There's a lot of value there. We're going to leave it up until Monday. Then we're going to pull it down. That offer isn't going to be seen again. If for some reason it does get seen again, it's going to be monumentally more expensive. So it's a special offer right now that you should go check out. offlinesharks.com/agency replay.
It's
Tom?
like, it was such a crazy deal. I almost just want to tell people what it was because it was such a crazy deal. I'm like, I don't even think there's any reason to hide. I know you don't want me to, but like, it was I was like, it's such a crazy deal. It's like, just trust me. Go there, watch the whole training. You're going to be so surprised, especially if you've been on a lot of webinars. You're going to be like, what? No way. Like,
And if you have any questions about it, just go look at that post in the Facebook group
yeah,
about all the people saying how amazing it was.
yeah.
But my
it was
recommendation for you would be to go to that link right now that you see on your screen, go watch that training and take some action and go get a client. Go get a client, because the information that is shared there, I mean, that's going to help you get a client pretty quickly. So go ahead and do that. Get an ROI, get a return on your super small investment. I mean, the investment to get everything on that offer is like tiny.
awesome. Nothing. It's literally nothing.
You're going to be blown away. So go check it out. Great live show, Tom.
Yeah. Great live show. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're going to be here. We will be back here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel. The Friday Aloha Marketing Jam session. More great content. We'll see you inside the Facebook group. Stay safe out there, everybody. And we'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Sharks Live Show, your weekly local marketing jam session. Every week, packed full of local marketing strategy, tactics, tips, and fun. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. You can stay up to date throughout the week with Nick's YouTube videos at nickponte.com/YouTube and Tom's podcast at tomgaddis.com. We'll be back here next Friday for another Sharks Live Show. Until then, aloha.